My name is Suresh Verghis. I'm a leadership facilitator. I'm also faculty at Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. And I have a corporate background, and currently I help leaders change behaviors to perform and succeed with work success as well as personal success. Sridhar?
Great, thank you, Suresh. Hi, this is Sridhar Krishnan, specializing in the IT services industry, where I do a whole lot of digital consulting, mostly focused on the energy industry. But I've been in this business 25 years in various sorts of leadership roles across a few different countries, across a few different levels of leadership as well. And I've also been in the corporate L&D space. That's me, and I am based in Bangalore.
Ravi?
Thank you. Good morning, all. I'm Ravi Bhuthapuri, here based in Chennai. I'm now a corporate training and learning facilitator. I also mentor managers. Have a background in IT, but for the last 10 years, I've been conducting workshops and helping people in their professional lives. Thank you.
GNR?
Yeah, my name is G.N. Radhakrishnan, commonly known as GNR. That's the way people call me. I'm a visiting faculty at Great Lakes Institute of Management, and I also do a lot of training in the education sector, especially schools. That's what I do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I worked in the corporate for about 16 years, and the last about 30 years I've been consulting and training.
You brought up, in quotes, what do I do when my boss doesn't appreciate my good work? Let's take that, and then we'll take the other one after that.
Yeah.
Sridhar.
So this is.
Oh yeah, Ravi, go ahead. Yeah.
No. Sridhar can go first, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, sure thing. What do I do when my boss does not appreciate me? Another good one. For stuff like this, my view is that nothing beats a candid conversation. Right? Nothing beats an honest, frank conversation with my boss when something like this bothers me. So that's the first one. But before having that conversation, I think it's important to look at what mindset am I going into that conversation with? What sort of a conversation do I intend to have with my boss? And in doing that, it may be helpful to ask maybe 2 or 3 questions of myself. Right? Okay, so my boss is not appreciative of the good work that I do. Well, for starters, are there others in my team, my peers, all reporting to the same boss? Without going around and asking everyone in person, just from observation, is my boss that way with all of them, or just with me? It's useful to ask myself that question. Right? The answer to that might say something. The second question to ask also is there are different personality types, right? There are people that with no ill intent, bosses that may not attach a lot of importance to appreciating good work, meaning that they will take it for granted. That they'll take not take it for granted. They'll take it as read, if we put it that way, right? They may be more focused on, hey, you know what, when people reporting to me fall short, it's my job to promptly tell them where they need to pull their socks. They do a good job, they know they did a good job. And I've had at least one boss in that model. Not that they did not appreciate the value of what I did, they just felt that, hey, Sridhar knows very, very well, right? I don't need to go and tell him, right? So that there are personality types, and am I aware of where my boss fits, that sort of a thing. And therefore, if my boss didn't appreciate my good work, I don't necessarily need to be offended. I don't need to attach any more meaning or gravity to it, right? So it's worth asking myself that question for my boss. The third thing is also, my boss is not appreciative of my good work. Why am I seeking appreciation? What's in it for me? The fact that I'm not being appreciated means what? to me? What interpretation am I attaching to it? That's an important question to ask because that tells something about my own mindset, and therefore I can have a more candid conversation with my boss saying, hey, you know what, this is important to me because such and such, because I need validation, because a pat on the back motivates me to do better, right? And if it's all the same to you, if you see a good job, let me know. If it's okay to be candid and ask for that, right? But it's important to know what's motivating me. The last bit also is acknowledgement of good work. There are two aspects to it, two levels to it. One is just a pat on the back, the bit that I've been talking about so far. But there is also acknowledgement as on what does it mean in terms of my salary, my pay raises, my promotions, and then all of those other very important things where acknowledgement and appreciation feeds in. If what I'm observing is that my boss is not being just appreciative of work, but acknowledges it where it matters, and therefore, from a pay raise and so on and so forth, I'm not hurt, I'm still taken care of. What does that say? Right? And how do I interpret that? I think it's important to sort of take a 360-degree view of all of this and then go have a candid conversation. At the end of the day, as I said at the start, nothing beats a candid conversation.
Jana?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think Sridhar has covered a lot of ground. Very, very valid. And I take from the point of view of what Sridhar said, people are different, or personality, he said. So you would have various kinds. Some are very appreciative, some are not at all appreciative. It could be a very personality-driven thing. So I would look at it from the point of view as people would be like to be peaceful, would be like to be stress-free. And I think that's one thing we're all craving for. We want to be stress-free, we want to be peaceful. So if you can cultivate the habit that you've done a good work and you appreciate yourself, well, if an appreciation comes from outside, that's an icing in the cake. If you shift your attitude like saying that, well, good, if he appreciates, well and good, I'll enjoy that also. But I already have the cake. I have done a good work and I feel nice about it. Looking at the lens of stress or peace, I think otherwise the whole day you're going to be troubled and you're not going to do your next work as good as the previous work that you did. Because this wrangling in your mind, oh, he did not appreciate me. And you would tend to make errors. So empower yourself, keeping the mind that we all want to be peaceful. And that's my take on this.
Ravi?
Lovely points all. If I may add to one thing that Sridhar said, which is have a conversation with your boss who's not appreciating it. You need to talk to that boss with something that makes sense to him or her. And one of the things that can make sense is when they appreciate you, yes, it adds to our well-being, our sense of confidence, self-esteem, if you will. But also from a career perspective, you may want to suggest to your boss to speak well of you if you've done well in the larger context of that company. Because you are not just going to work for your boss all your life. You may continue to work in that same company in different parts, in different teams. So if you are in such a company where such opportunities exist, you may want to suggest to your boss in a very tactful way, look, I am looking at larger responsibility going forward. I am angling for this particular role in the next 6 months or 12 months, as you very well know. I think, me gaining some visibility here would help my candidature. Can you please help me with that? And I think most bosses would be able to appreciate that kind of reasoning. So it's not just about all these other things are important, bonus, pat on the back and everything. It's also about visibility in a larger organization. Most leaders I've noticed don't pay conscious attention to this. They don't realize that their team members are going to be leaders someday. And they don't consciously put in the effort to enhance their subordinates' image within the organization. That's my take.
So there are, for me, two aspects to this. So if you are a leader and you have a boss who does not appreciate, then that gives you a message as to what you should be to your team members and what you should not be. Taking a cue from that, rather than saying, I'm not appreciated anyway, so why should I appreciate? I mean, that's the victim approach. So that's one thing. However, a lot that the three of you said are very, very valid. I would say that, and this is also from my personal experience, there are bosses who appreciate, there are bosses who do not appreciate, there are bosses who do not appreciate on purpose as well, thinking that, they're waiting for the most spectacular achievement in order to appreciate, sort of a thing. And not everything else is just normal job, normal work. This is what you're paid for, sort of a thing. So stating that is even more damaging. However, as you said, one is in terms of one's own expectation as to whether, what am I looking for? I mean, doing a good job itself is good, as GNR said. And if I get a pat on the back, it's a bonus, sort of a thing. So therefore, presetting my own mind for that. The second thing is, like you said, Ravi, go ask for it. And how do you ask for it? There are ways to ask for it. And I've done it myself. Going and asking a boss after 3 months of no feedback at all. I mean, forget about appreciation. No feedback at all. So I had to literally go to my boss and say, give me some feedback. I want to know how I'm doing. It's more like, in socially, they say, show me some love. Literally, it's like that. Show me some love. So no harm in actually going and asking for it, especially if you feel that you deserve it. Having said that, there are people who crave it as well. And therefore, this is a good checkpoint, especially when we are addressing this from participants. It's a good checkpoint to examine yourself. Are you actually craving for it when you may or may not get it? Are you looking for it where, you could be carrying some baggage if you don't get it? If so, then there's some work to be done, introspection to be done internally as well. But yeah, I mean, fantastic. I mean, that's my take on it. And
I have a point to add.
Yeah,
it
sure.
just occurs to me.
Yeah.
As a rule, bosses want us to succeed. As a rule.
Yeah.
But there are exceptions to that rule.
Absolutely.
Bosses may not want us to succeed. Because they're highly insecure, or they see that you're extremely brilliant, and that you will supersede them within the company. Yeah. So if that's the case, and I've known of cases like that, then you are better off not approaching the boss for any recognition, but just work your way and find your way out of that place.
Absolutely.
Out of that team,
Yeah.
because that's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Great.